With us now, Congressman Adam Smith of Washington. He's the ranking member of the Armed Services Committee. So the president's talking to the Chinese leader. What do you hope they're talking about?
Well, I hope they're talking about, the trade deal, first of all, trying to figure out how to resolve the trade disagreement, and just in general, having a conversation and connecting on the challenges that we face. I mean, look, China is a big, powerful country. We are as well. There's been a lot of animosity between the two. There is so much that we could work on and so much that we have to resolve. So I think it's good that he's opening up the lines of communication. We'll just have to see what comes out of it.
So some of the details of this alleged TikTok deal have filtered out. It would be some kind of an 80% ownership by the United States, maybe a Chinese stake, still unclear who controls the logarithm. I know we don't know everything, but from what you've seen so far, does it appear to be compliant with the law that Congress passed?
It's hard to say because we haven't seen enough details, but the two crucial things about that are, number one, the point you made. Will it really be separated from Chinese Communist Party influence? Will it be a separate U.S. company, and will there be ways to make sure that, as you mentioned, the algorithms and all of that are no longer controlled by China, number one. Second thing I'm concerned about is what degree is it going to be controlled by President Trump? As I understand it, it's some of his friends and supporters who are buying it, so is there going to be that type of independence as well? But it's really too soon to tell because we haven't seen those details.
The Washington Post is reporting that over the summer, the Trump administration, the president did not approve some $400 million in advanced weapon sales to Taiwan that had previously been allocated. What are your thoughts on that, on this administration's position toward Taiwan?
No, it's very unclear at this point. I mean, look, we have a clear policy and have for some time that's been challenged in a variety of different ways, but we support one China. We understand that Taiwan and China are one country, but at the same time, we also are adamantly opposed to China using force to reunify China and Taiwan, and we reserve the right to provide Taiwan with the defensive weapons they need to prevent that. Is President Trump committed to that basic policy? We don't know for sure. I think it's really important. You asked about the phone call, and I'm just learning about this as you are, but I think one big point would be to reemphasize that we are completely opposed and will not allow China to use military force to invade Taiwan. I think it would be good for President Trump to make clear our position on that.
Congressman, how do you feel about free speech this morning?
Not good. Look, I mean, there's a whole lot of different arguments, and I've heard a lot of them, Jimmy Kimmel said things that weren't true. It's a private company. They have a right to do what they want, and this huge debate. But the bottom line is the President of the United States is using his power as president and our federal government to coerce and pressure people into not criticizing him. In the media, in law firms, everywhere. And he's doing it in a way that is completely against the First Amendment. He's saying it publicly. He's pulling security clearances. He's pulling security details. He's filing lawsuits. He's using the FCC to threaten them. And the president's very open about it. He doesn't like to be criticized, and he's going to try to silence people who do criticize him. And everybody in this country needs to be deeply concerned about how the president is using that power just for his own personal political aims. It is a deeply troubling situation.
One question about Democratic politics, if I can. Now, I'll stipulate this has to do with New York State, which could not be further, really, from you in the district you represent. But Axios reports this morning that Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and her team are positioning her to run for president or the U.S. Senate in 2028. That's from people familiar with her operation, according to Axios' Alex Thompson. The reason I'm asking you is, what does that tell you about the direction of the party? How do you feel about the idea of maybe challenging Chuck Schumer, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a self-prescribed Democratic socialist?
I really don't have an opinion about that. Individual members of Congress and politicians can make the decisions they make. I think the more important issue is the budget fight that we're about to get into and the partisan budget that Donald Trump is trying to jam down America's throats, and we're about to have a major fight on that. I'm not going to get into any other one of my colleagues' personal political career. I've worked with AOC. I think she's a very capable, smart person, and I wish her the best of luck in whatever it is she decides to do.
Very quickly then, what about the idea of a government shutdown in this budget fight? Do you think this is the fight that Democrats should have?
Absolutely, we have to. President Trump has put forward a radical partisan budget, devastating cuts to health care, devastating cuts to food security programs, $170 billion more for the Department of Homeland Security so that he can use ICE and a variety of different agencies to terrorize America, more money for defense, massive tax cuts for the wealthy, and also the president has violated the law by simply blocking spending that he doesn't like. We have to stand up against that. Now, President Trump, that's his budget. He can put it forward. But please understand, we Democrats don't have to vote for it. And we have our own continuing resolution that was put out yesterday that is a reasonable approach to keeping the government open. So if he wants our votes, we can't just vote for such a radical, extreme partisan budget, and I don't think we should. So I think it is absolutely a fight that we need to have. When you look where the economy is going, look where inflation is at, you look at the jobs numbers, no, we cannot rubber stamp a budget that is leading America to a weaker economy and a weaker place on 1,000 different issues.
Congressman Adam Smith, appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.